Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into an extraordinary personal story. It's drawn from an interview called When the Music Faded, the Silence That Broke Me.
Yeah, it's about an artist, Vane, and his, profound struggles.
Exactly. And how, against some pretty incredible odds, he didn't just find his creative voice again. He actually found a completely new one.
And our mission here really is to unpack that, to pull out the key insights, the real knowledge from his account, which is very raw, very reflective. You'll hear about some surprising twists, moments of real resilience, and these offer lessons, I think, no matter what path you're on.
Definitely. Now, before we jump in, just a quick heads up. This deep dive, it touches on themes of mental health struggles, serious injury, personal trauma. So it's not intended for underage listeners.
Right. And if you are struggling or in crisis, please reach out, talk to a professional, someone you trust. Don't go through it alone. Because this isn't, just a story about a musician. It's really about survival. It's about silence and how you find a way to speak, to express yourself when it feels like everything's gone.
So we'll explore what happened when his world just fell apart.
And the, frankly, unexpected way he found his way back. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start at that really critical point in Vane's life. A huge decision point.
Yeah.
He had to choose: pursue a stable corporate career or stick with his passion as a musician, a producer in an underground metal band.
Right. A classic dilemma for creatives, really.
So what pushed him towards the corporate path, and what hit him immediately after making that choice?
Which the choice itself was driven almost entirely by financial necessity, practicality.
Okay.
He just saw that being a full-time musician, especially in a small market, limited alternative scene, it just wasn't viable, economically speaking.
For example, logically.
Logically, yes, but emotionally. He said it felt like a literal stab in his heart, and it sent him into a, quote, severe depression. He missed music terribly, desperately. Tried to do some studio voice work for hire, just to stay connected. But eventually he just gave up completely. And then right around this time, something else happens. A major physical issue surfaces.
And this is where it gets even heavier, isn't it? The timing is just brutal.
It really is.
This long-forgotten, overlooked back injury comes back.
Yeah.
And it becomes, in his words, his biggest life challenge and burden.
Yeah, it just compounded everything. That old injury flaring up right when he was dealing with what he called unbearable burnout at work made him feel like he'd totally lost his voice.
Yeah.
And his description, it's chilling. He said he felt like an empty shell with cracks all over it, more fragile than porcelain.
Just shattered.
Completely. His whole life just became about pain, survival.
And that's it. It's such a stark picture. And you mentioned this wasn't just a rough patch. This was a deep, dark void he fell into.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you tell us more about what that burnout, that injury felt like day to day, living in that state?
I mean, he was only 32, and he was in constant, severe pain. Couldn't stand for long, couldn't sit more than maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Ooh.
And the pain didn't even stop when he lay down. It was just always there.
Oh, my God.
And then the medication. For about 7 to 9 months, he was on 8 to 12 pills every single day. Heavy stuff, painkillers, muscle relaxants.
Did they help at all?
That's the cruel irony. They mostly just made him sick, didn't really touch the pain, didn't help him sleep.
So no relief.
No relief. And he says, quite frankly, he gave up, which was partly the depression talking, but also he mentions getting unprofessional opinions from some doctors.
That's rough. So it
Yeah.
sounds like he really hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where he just realized, this is it, I'm broken?
Yeah, definitely. He was considering, really serious options like back surgery because he'd already tried 4 different physio rehab programs.
And nothing worked.
Nothing. Complete failure. He just felt utterly broken. And he was facing these predictions from multiple doctors saying, you might not be walking in a few years.
God, that's terrifying.
Imagine. And the pain was so bad, any kind of creative outlet, like even just writing lyrics, impossible. No strength, no focus.
So beyond the physical torture, how did this show up? Mentally, creatively, what were the signs?
Well, the physical fed right into the mental. Severe insomnia, deep depression, just unable to function normally. And he talks about isolating himself too, partly because of what he called a toxic relationship and a toxic job, just pulling away from everything.
Closing himself off.
Completely. Feeling like, his words again, a useless being, a burden, trapped in total silence and total darkness. He felt imprisoned by my body and mind to be alone.
Wow. That phrase, imprisoned by my body and mind, That really hits hard.
It paints such a vivid picture of that feeling of being tracked, doesn't it? It also shows how physical pain, mental health, your environment, it's all tangled together. One thing breaks, it can pull everything else down with it.
So from that incredibly dark, isolated place, I mean, how do you even start to climb out? Was there any light at all? What finally gave him path forward?
Well, this is where the story takes a really unexpected turn. Almost like something out of a movie, actually.
Okay.
He says, out of the blue, his regular doctor was sick one day, so he saw a different doctor, just a random chance encounter.
Yeah.
And that meeting, he says, literally jump-started my life. This new doctor gave him what he called tough love and a structured approach.
Tough love. Interesting.
Yeah. And crucially, Vane listened. He committed to this new plan, and slowly, through a long and really painful process, he managed to regain what he calls maximum possible health.
That's incredible. A chance meeting.
It really is. It highlights how sometimes the breakthrough can come from somewhere totally unexpected.
It makes you wonder, though. He calls it chance out of the blue. But do you think maybe something inside him had shifted?
Right.
Was he maybe ready to hear that tough love, that structured approach when it finally came?
That's a fantastic point because, yeah, the opportunity might have been random, but his willingness to grab it, to actually do the hard work despite the pain, that speaks volumes. It suggests there was still some fight left, some readiness deep down. It's like the spark can come from outside, but you need that internal tinder, that readiness to actually catch the flame, you know?
Yeah. Being open to it, even when you feel completely stuck. That's a powerful lesson right there.
Definitely.
Okay, so his physical health is improving, which is huge, but he's a musician. What was happening with his creative side during this recovery? Was that drive just gone? Or was it more like a frustrating ache?
Oh, he describes that part as more painful mentally than physically.
Really? More than the physical pain?
That's what he says. He had all these ideas for songs just bubbling up inside him, but absolutely no strength to write them down, to finish them.
The frustration.
Exactly. Constantly feeling like he cannot finish or accomplish anything. That pressure just built and built until finally he decided to try therapy.
Okay, so therapy enters the picture. How did that interact with his creativity and his, well, clearly complicated relationship with music at this point?
It's interesting. His therapist suggested writing, actually, as a way to cope, to focus on the things dragging him down, maybe get some closure.
Makes sense. Processing through writing.
Yeah, and it did. It sparked that creative process again. But the problem was, the songs that came out were, well, understandably, as dark and depressive as the mind creating them.
Reflecting the state he was in.
Precisely. And he found that approach just didn't work for him then. It didn't feel healing, maybe. It actually led him to give up on music again. Completely.
Wow. So therapy initially led him away from music.
In that specific form, yeah. Though crucially, he still held on to some lyrics he'd written. Lyrics about survival and how to deal with depression. He didn't discard everything.
Okay, that's important. So digging a bit deeper into that mental state, the depression, anxiety, trauma he mentions, how did that specifically shape the silence and what he calls his love-hate relationship with music?
Well, he talks about locking himself into complete isolation during his physical recovery, really focusing inward. And paradoxically, it was during that isolation that he wrote the lyrics for what would later become his DNA EP.
So the isolation wasn't creatively barren then?
Not entirely, no. It seems like a period of intense internal processing. He's very open about dealing with that mixed depression, anxiety, trauma. He even admits he gave up on life and on music at points.
That love-hate thing really comes through.
Oh, absolutely. He says he hated himself for giving up on music and hated music for not returning all the hours that I have put into it. That sense of betrayal, almost.
I get that, all that investment.
But then, in the same breath, he says he always loved the way it made me feel when on stage or in studio, when my message was put into something meaningful.
So the core passion was still there, underneath the pain and resentment.
Exactly. It shows how deep these things run, doesn't it? Even when something causes you immense pain, that original love, that core connection can still persist. It's a conflict many artists probably recognize.
Definitely. So, after everything, the pain, the burnout, giving up multiple times, what on earth pulled him back towards music again? What was that final catalyst?
It was kind of a perfect storm, really. A mix of, as he puts it, luck, curiosity, anger, depression, all the emotions.
Roll it together.
Yeah. What happened was he had a minor injury, something small, that stopped him from working out for a bit.
Okay.
And that, combined with some major stress at work, clashes with personnel actually triggered a PTSD reaction. It threw him right back into the feelings of his darkest time.
Wow. So a setback actually became the trigger for change.
Ironically, yes. That relapse, that sudden vulnerability, it pushed him to look for completely new ways to cope, new avenues for expression.
So instead of just sinking back down, he started searching outwards. What was he looking for? What was that little bit of hope or idea he clung to?
Well, this is where his day job, his background comes into play. He works in the AI field.
Oh, yeah?
And he describes having this mindset of a kid who loves sci-fi. So he started looking at AI tools, thinking maybe this could be the way. The way to finally bring that unfinished music, those lyrics, to life.
Using his tech skills for his art.
Exactly. He needed, he said, closure and satisfaction so I can move on. He has this really strong belief that unfinished business is unfinished business.
I like that.
Yeah. And that love for music, for the moments of discovery of new tunes, it never really died. He even mentions Kobe Bryant's quote, "Job is not finished."
Mamba mentality.
Right. So that conviction, that sense of incompletion, kept him searching, looking for the right tool, gateway, for those lyrics and the sounds he imagined.
It's a great example of how purpose can keep you going even when the usual paths are blocked.
Yeah.
He was actively looking for a new door.
Precisely.
So he's searching for this gateway. How does Suno, the AI music generator, actually enter the picture, and what's his first reaction?
He says it was not so long ago, actually. He heard something generated by Suno, and his immediate, gut reaction was fascinating. He thought, this sound is really good, but I can do it better.
Huh. Okay, interesting. Not just impressed, but challenged.
Exactly. And he's quick to clarify, it wasn't meant offensively or arrogantly. It was just the strong, visceral feeling that he could squeeze out of it much more. He saw the potential immediately.
So he recognized the tool, but also saw its limitations, or rather his potential with it.
Yes. And because of his AI background, he wasn't intimidated. He just dove right in, started learning how to work with it, how to push it.
That makes sense. His existing skills gave him a head start. So he has these deeply personal lyrics, the DNA concept ones. How did he start feeding those into Suno? What happened then?
Well, he started with those lyrics, but initially they were just too long, too complex for Suno to handle well.
The AI limitations.
Right. The music it generated was, good, technically, but he said it just wasn't what I envisioned. It didn't capture the feeling, the complexity.
So what did he do? Give up again?
No. This time was different. Showing that tech mindset, that iterative process, he actually turned to another AI, ChatGPT.
Using AI to help the AI.
Pretty much. He used ChatGPT to help him simplify, refine, and structure the lyrics, break them down. And in doing that, what was meant to be just one song ended up becoming a whole EP.
Wow. So the process of adapting the input actually expanded the project.
Exactly. It shows how these tools can be more than just generators. They can be collaborators, facilitators in the creative process itself, especially if you understand the logic behind them.
So that must have been a light bulb moment, using one AI to prep for another. What did he realize then about what these tools could really do for him?
It was huge. An epiphany, like you said. He saw, okay, this is it. This technology gives me a real practical way to create songs for all those lyrics I've been holding on to.
The ones born from the struggle.
Yes, a way to finally give voice to his struggle pain. And crucially, a way to get that closure he talked about.
So he went all in.
Completely. He dedicated every free minute to it. Fine-tuning prompts, generating tracks, working with Suno. And really quickly, he produced 2 EPs that he genuinely loved, that felt right.
That's amazing.
And he saw Suno's power then, not just for himself, but as a perfect tool to cope with tragedy. And also, more broadly, as this excellent tool to empower people who lack the traditional skills or equipment or money.
Right, removing barriers to creation.
Exactly, giving them the opportunity to create regardless.
That's a powerful realization. So what did it feel like for him, finally hearing these ideas, these lyrics that came from such a dark place, actually become finished songs?
He describes the feeling as just liberating.
Liberate.
Yeah, and he compared it to the first time in years he went a week or 2 without any back pain. That feeling of being able to finally breathe.
That's a powerful analogy, just relief.
Immense relief. And then the feedback he got from friends, family, it was overwhelming. And it planted a seed, maybe, that he might not yet be done with music after all.
It suggests that the closure he sought might actually have been a new beginning.
It really seems that way. Like, technology didn't just replicate something lost, it opened a whole new chapter.
So looking back at this whole arc, Would you say the AI just gave him back the voice he lost? Or was it something different, something new?
Oh, definitely a new one. He's very clear about that. He says, quote, "I was never talented enough to have such strong vocals as I am producing with Suno."
He admits that freely.
Yeah, and he follows it up with, "and that is perfectly okay."
That's key. Acceptance.
Totally. Because the core ideas, the message, the lyrics, that was always his. The AI was the tool that allowed him to achieve the result he envisioned, maybe even better than he could have before. It bridged the gap between his internal vision and the external reality, overcoming his previous limitations.
So the essence was his, the execution enhanced by the tool.
Precisely.
And what about the emotional impact? Hearing those specific lyrics, the ones that literally embodied his trauma and survival, hearing them come alive in music after years of silence, how did that resonate?
He admits it's hard to put into words, but the analogy he uses is incredibly powerful.
What is it?
He compares it to someone who's been completely crushed after tragedy, injury, someone devastated, buried alive in the pain that is unbearable.
Yeah.
But then, through sheer grit, consistency, hard work, they don't just overcome it, they emerge stronger and almost like reborn.
Reborn, wow.
That's the feeling he connects to hearing those songs.
Yeah.
Immense pride in those lyrics because they were the perfect embodiment of what I went through and how I survived.
It's like his creative work became the ultimate proof of his survival, his transformation.
Beautifully put. Yeah, the art became the autobiography of his resilience.
So, knowing everything he knows now, having come through all that, if he could talk to that version of himself who gave up, the one feeling broken and useless, what's the main thing he'd tell him?
His message is so direct, so potent. It's basically this: there will be a better way to do it, you will see better days, but you have to allow it.
You have to allow it. That's powerful. It puts the agency back on the self, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It's about self-permission. Opening yourself up to the possibility of change, even when things seem hopeless.
And why share this story now?
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly personal, vulnerable. What does he hope people listening will take away from his journey?
Well, his motivation seems really genuine, quite altruistic, actually. He wants to give people tools, options, maybe help someone find a path to expression or even therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically for musicians who maybe gave up on their dreams like he did, he hopes this offers a spark, a chance to revisit old ideas, maybe use these new tools to finally get them out there.
A second chance, enabled by tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the core message, the big takeaway he hopes people get, it goes beyond music, beyond AI even.
What is it?
It's that the path might get unbelievably difficult, but if one will focus and create structure in their life, they will persevere.
Structure and focus.
Yeah. Persevere regardless if it is music or not, if it is art in general or other profession. And his final plea is just allow yourself to try one more day, then another, until you will get better.
Just keep trying. One more day.
One more day. That consistent effort, that structure, and giving yourself the grace to just try again.
Yeah.
That seems to be the foundation he found. It's a universal message about overcoming immense challenges, really.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive. Vane's journey from that absolute silence and despair, finding this completely new voice through AI. It's just staggering.
It really is.
It's such a powerful reminder that even when things feel impossibly dark, there can be these unexpected ways to heal, to express yourself, sometimes by combining that inner human resilience with, well, new tools.
Absolutely. It really underscores the power of just persevering, of focusing on rebuilding piece by piece, and that crucial idea of allowing yourself to try again, even when it feels pointless.
Right.
And yeah, it's a fascinating look at how technology isn't just about, efficiency or novelty. It can be deeply personal. It can offer a real pathway to recovery and self-expression when the old ways just aren't working anymore.
So if you're out there listening and you're struggling, you feel that kind of pain, remember his words. Talk to someone, please. You don't have to carry it alone. And maybe, if traditional help feels out of reach right now, perhaps even just starting to express what's inside, maybe using a tool like AI could be a first step, a first sound, a first word. Just don't be afraid to try something.
Well said. Because this story, Vane's story, it really transcends music. It's about resilience, it's about being open to new solutions, and it's a truly compelling look at how human struggle and technological innovation can intersect in surprising and ultimately hopeful ways.
Join us next time on The Deep Dive as we continue to explore the hidden connections, surprising facts, and profound insights that shape our world.